Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic. The day after our Kickstarter launched, and very successfully. Thank you so much. The project is already funded, and we will be creating stretch goals. They may be up by now, some of them, to see if we can get, I guess, more puzzles. A longer story, more puzzles into it. Oh, it's brilliant. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. We really just are, as always, in awe of our wonderful community who back a lot of the projects we get involved in. Thank you so much. It's just a pleasure. So I will very quickly mention Patreon, where there are still 4 days left to enter the Solver in Sudoku Land Demono competition, which is another brilliant Sudoku hunt. I will briefly mention our apps, which have LINES Sudoku as the latest, and many others. Loads of handcrafted puzzles there that are absolutely brilliant, just like we solve on the channel every day. Some of them from the greatest names in setting. And of course on the channel, of course our streaming is worth mentioning as well. A couple of days ago we streamed Chants of Sonar, and we'll come back to it next week. So all sorts of things going on at the moment. Now, this puzzle has been recommended to us, Samu Piano's Unique Sums. Now, Samu Piano is a name that rings a bell. Samu Piano, and maybe it's Samu Piano, I don't know, did a puzzle that involved islands and was very, very interesting. Anyway, I don't remember the details, but it was good. I remember that. And I think has featured on the channel a couple of times, but they are back today with unique sums. Now, we have seen this sort of unique sums rule before, and I'm assuming this isn't going to, I don't know, maybe this will be the same sort of trick as we've had before. Trick is unfair, but anyway. I will read the rules, I will get into the puzzle, and we will find out if it is similar to what we've done before. If it is exactly the same as what we've done before, maybe this video won't appear. I don't know. Let's have a look at the rules. So, normal Sudoku rules apply. 1 to 9 in every row, every column, and every 3x3 box. The sum of the digits in each cage has a unique total. So each cage's sum is different from each other cage's sum. The grace, and then there's no given numbers for those cages. There's one grey cell, grey square, which contains an even digit. That's the last rule. Wow. I mean, there's nothing much to go on here, but I have one plan of attack, which I'm sure you've come up with as well. Give it a try if you have on the second link under this video. The first will be to the Kickstarter. And see how you get on with Unique Sums by Samu Piano. I am going to restart my clock and say, let's get cracking. Now, the only idea I have for dealing with this starts with counting the number of cages. There clearly are 1-cell cages, 2-cell cages, and 3-cell cages. And none of the cages are in a position where they can have a repeat digit. That's the only one that straddles a box border, and that's all in the same column. So there are no repeat digits. Therefore, the maximum total in a 3-cell cage is 24. The minimum total in a 1-cell cage is 1. And I'm hoping to find that there are 24 cages in this puzzle to give me a start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 deals with the first 3 columns. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 deals with the next set. 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There are not 24 cages. Oh, that is a bit of a shocker. Right, how many 1-cell cages are there? Yeah, if this was just 2- and 3-cell cages, 22 cages would be exactly the number I want. Right, there are 9 1-cell cages. Okay, that makes sense. Those are the digits 1 to 9. I think that's obvious. The red cells, therefore, are an extra region, if you like. They are a set of the digits 1 to 9 that we have to find. How many how many 2s are there? And in fact, I'll make them yellow, not blue. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So if the reds are taking all the possible totals from 1 to 9, yes, the yellows are taking the ones from 10 to 17. So every possible number that you can then get in a 1 or 2 cell cage is covered in this puzzle. But I was now hoping to find 7 3-cell cages, and there are only 5. Which are containing totals somewhere between 18 and 24. I do not know how to start this. I don't know at all what's going on here. Need to think. Those red cells are just distributed all over the grid. They are haphazard to me. Okay, here's the only thing about the distribution in this grid that I've got to go on, and that is that 3 yellow cells are in the same box, 3 yellow cages. So these are cages that add up to numbers between 10 and 17. And the 3 minimals are 10, 11, and 12. And I was hoping to find that was below the possible totals for 6 digits. It's absolutely not. 6 digits. Oh, well, what's the... no, it's more about the maximum, isn't it? 6 digits can add up to a minimum of 21 and a maximum of 39 when they have to be different. Okay, so these are limited to quite low numbers within 10 to 17, since they can't be more than 39. I suspect 10 must be amongst them. No, that's not right. Okay, that is not where to start. How about these 3 sellers then? Ah, yes, okay, yes. Right, having just identified that 39 is the maximum number for 6 cells that have to be different from each other. You can do that by either adding 9 plus 8 plus 7 plus 6 plus 5 plus 4, or rather more simply, taking the total of 1 plus 2 plus 3, which is 6, away from the magic number, which is 45, and getting 39. Now, why is 45 the magic number? Because normal Sudoku rules require every row, column, and box to add to the same number. And we know that that number is always the magic number 45. It is a secret that we only tell our closest friends, but you are amongst them now. 1 to 9 always add up to 45, basically. Now, if these blues in box 2 add up to no, okay, they don't add up to a maximum of 39 on their own. But, I mean, this is bizarre in a way. These 4 cages add up to a maximum of 78 because of this rule that we've just established. And interestingly, I believe that the minimum that they can add up to is also 78. And that is formed by taking the numbers above 17, which is the highest possible yellow cage, and all the yellows and reds use the cage totals from 1 to 17. If we take the next 4 numbers, 18, 19, 20, and 21, I think they do add up to 78. They do. And I've just done that in my head by arithmetic, but the way that I did it before was by thinking of 18 and 20. If you have 2 of these here, and 2 here, that's 4 of these totals. 18 and 21 would be the same total as 19 and 20. So that's kind of the maximum you could fit into both cages, and obviously both of those sums are 39, which is what we need in a single cage. So one of these pairs is 18 and 21. One of them is 20 and 19. And the rather extraordinary beginning to the puzzle, therefore, is to put in the outies in those boxes 1, 2, and 3, which must be the remaining digits. I don't know how to dispose 18, 19, 20 and 21 from the 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, 8s and 9s. But I do know that these other cells have to be 1, 2 and 3. And this cage, okay, this is the outlier. Let's give it a different colour. This is the outlier. These, red is 1 to 9, yellow is 10 to 17, blue is 18 to 21. This one is 22, 23 or 24 and contains a 9. And that's all I know, really. Well, again, actually, I suppose it doesn't contain 1, 2 or 3, which is perhaps going to be interesting. I haven't worked out what to do with 1, 2 and 3. These digits can't be 1, 2 or 3 because they're being pointed at by the set. Right, so the minimum for these cells is 10. 4 and 5 there and 1 there. Now that makes the maximum for these 3 yellows to be 35. And that does mean they include the 10 cage, because if they didn't, you'd have to have 11, 12 and 13 at a minimum, which add up to 36. So they definitely include the 10 cage. It's a maximum of 35. So it could be 10, 11 and 12, but it could also be 10, 11 and 14 or 10, 12 and 13 or various combinations in between, and that's not actually very helpful. That must be from 1, 2 or 3 because this minimum has 2 degrees of freedom. If these were 10, 11 and 12, which they might very well be, they will add up to 33. The maximum these can add up to is 12. 4 and 5 are the minimum here. There's only 2 degrees of freedom if it was 4, 5 there and 1 there. So we can at least mark up that much, which is not brilliant, but I'm prepared to take anything at the moment in this puzzle. What on earth am I meant to think about next? I mean, I feel confident that so far I'm on the right path, but it's going to get a lot harder now. $10, 11 and 12. Okay, maybe they can't be made up. Okay, 9 and 8 must appear in the yellow cells. It's not enough information because there could be a 6, 7 cage. Wow, what is going on, guys? What are we meant to do? Double yellow up here? That doesn't seem all that interesting. Okay, oh, how about row 6? 10 appears down here. Oh, this is interesting. Oh my goodness. Look at row 6. What is the minimum value for each of the bits of it? Oh, this is bizarre. 11 there, because we know the 10 cage is down here somewhere. 18 here, because we know the blues are 18, 19, 20 and 21. That's 29 so far. Now, what's the minimum of these 2 cells? The minimum value of this cage is 22. And you could stick the 9 up there to avoid that being in these cells, but they still have to add up to at least 13. So their minimum is 13, 18 is the minimum there, 31, 11 is the minimum there, 42, and that is the maximum for 7 cells in the same, I mean, we haven't looked at a row before, but in the same row, just like a column or box, that's what it is. And that's what they must be. And that's to allow you to put 1 and 2 in the other 2 cells in the row. And now this cage, I'm going to mark it somehow. This cage totals 18. Okay, these corner marks are not my normal corner marks like that one, where 9 has to appear in one of those cells. This is totaling this cage. That is 18. This is, this is 11. There we go, 11, like that. And this cage, or this pair, adds up to 13. Because it's the minimum, but it's also the maximum for the numbers in the row. So if they add up to 13, this now has to be a 9. There is our first digit in this puzzle, a weird old 9 in the outlier cage. But we've now established it's not really an outlier. It adds up to 22. So let's give it a colour back. These add up to 13. They are either 8, 5 or 6, 7. That means this can't be a 6, 5 cage, and it can't be a 2, 9 cage, because 2 has gone somewhere in the row. So it's either 3, 8 or 4, 7. And now 8 and 7 will be both used up amongst those two cages, because that will need one of them and that will need the other one. And now this contains a 9 to get to its 18 total, and it doesn't have 8 or 7. Oh, it doesn't have 3 because there's a 1, 2, 3 triple. So it is 9, 4, 5. Okay, we can get rid of those corner marks now. Can we? Yes, we can. 9, 4, 5 means that's not a 5, 8 pair. 6, 7 there means that's... Look at that. We've done all of these... That's extraordinary. We've got a lot of row 6 filled in a weird way. Now, this is the 18 cage. This is 6, 7, 8. That's the 21 cage. These are the 19 and the 20 cage. We know the values of lots of the blue cages now. Is that any help to us in the rest of the puzzle? Oh, and we've lost 11 as a possibility down here. So this is getting a bit more constrained. That's going to take one more degree of freedom away, because 2 of these cages at least are 10 and 12 at a minimum. And the maximum that the other one can be, therefore, is... Well, are they 10, 12 and 13? Is that now fixed? It is. It is. 10, 12 and 13 are the minimum values for these yellow cages. That adds up to 35. 4, 5 there are the minimum value, and 1 is the minimum value there. That's all done. Wow. This puzzle, Samu, is absolutely brilliant. So these are a 10, a 12 and a 13, but I don't know what order. How the heck am I meant to know? Oh, 4, 5 pair. I get another 9 in the puzzle. This column has 6, 7 and 8. This cage is either 19 or 20. So it's not a 6, 7, 8 triple. Well, that can't be a 6, 7 pair, because this would have to be 7 or 6 again. So there is an 8 there, and not here. If it's 6, 8, this can be 5, and that's all. If it's 7, 8, oh, this can be 4 or 5. Is that right? Yeah, it is. I think that's 4 or 5, which forms a pair with that. Weird old pair. Now, we've got a 1 there, so there must be a 1 here. So there isn't a 1 here, and we've placed 1 in box 2. Ooh, is that going to rule out lots of candidates for 1 in the red cells? Well, a few. Okay, not enough. That's ruled out as well. Okay, let's think about these yellows. Yeah, we've got to put some quite high digits in these. They are 10, 12, and 13. We've got to put a 9 in somewhere. With a 3. It can't be with a 1. It can't be with a 2 because we don't have an 11 sum in here. It can't be with 4 or 5, and we're only going up to a maximum of 13. So, okay, 9, 3 is one of these cages, not that one. 9, 3. Okay, there's an 8 in here somewhere. It's not going in this cage. It's going in this group. 3, 9 is the 12 cage. 8 can't be in the 13 cage because 5 has gone. So it's the 10 cage, 8, 2. So those are 2, 3, 8, and 9. And this is a 6, 7 pair making the 13 cage. And that's a 6, 7, 8 triple. 8 is in one of those cells. So it's neither there nor in these two. Now we've said that 8, 2 is a pair, so if 8's not in one of those and is in one of those, then 2 is in one of those and not in one of those. This is from 2, 3 or 9, but it can't be 2 or 3. That is a 9. There's no 9 in those cells, and there's no 3 in those cells. Now in this column, we've got 1 of 4, 5 and 1 of 6, 7 in a cage that's going to add up to 20 or 21. Yeah, there seem to be various ways of doing that, I'm afraid. Wow, this is more progress than I was thinking we were getting to after 8 minutes of this puzzle. This is so interesting. Right, but now we need a new approach. We've got, well, between these two, we've got the 10 and 12, and the 11 and the 13. So these other yellow cages are 14, 15, 16, and 17. Ooh, that's going to contain a lot of 9s. It can't. This cage doesn't have a 9 in, and this one doesn't have a 9 in. And we need a 17 cage and a 16 cage. Yeah. So this has a 9 in the corner with 8 or 7 there. This has a 9 in along with 8 or 7. Those are all different. What I mean is within the cells I've now highlighted, 9, 8 and 7 appear. And that means that none of these cells can be 9, 8 or 7. Is that useful? Not very. But anyway, 17 and 16 will be there. These cages are going to be 15 and 14, and they don't have a 9 in. So one of them is an 8-7 cage, and one of them is an 8-6 cage. And there is an 8 in those cells, so that's not 8. The 8 in this cage goes there. There is an 8 in one of those cells, so there's no 8 there. That's the 16 cage. This is the 17 cage. Now we can't have a 7 there. We've got the 16 cage, the 14 cage. This is the 15, and that all works. And now we know where all the blue and yellow cages, no, we don't quite, because we don't know which one of those is 19 and which one is 20. But we know where a lot of the other cages are disposed. Actually, we don't know which one of those is 10 and which one is 12. But we've confined them pretty hard. Now, let's do some more Sudoku. These can't have a 7 in. So the 7 in the column is there. That's a 6-8 pair, so the 7 in this column is at the bottom. Then we get a 6 there. These don't have a 6. So we add up to 15 there. Oh, bother. I thought that was going to get resolved by 19 or 20, but it still leaves both possibilities. This is an 8, and that... Oh, sorry, I'm in the wrong mode. 7 and 8 resolved by that 8 and the 7 there. 6 is definitely in this pair, along with either 4 or 5. Okay, we still don't know which blue cage is which. That's odd, but there we go. This can't be a 6 because of the 6-8 pair, and there is a 6 in this cage, so it's definitely there. And this still hasn't told me which of these is which. Wow. This is even. It's now 2 or 4 because it can't be 8 or 6. Would that it were 4, and then that would be known. Haven't done much with the reds yet. Oh, we've got an 8 X-wing forming. 8 in one of those cells. I don't know whether this puzzle is going to be resolved by playing with the reds or by doing Sudoku. I'm probably better at doing Sudoku, so maybe I'll focus on that for a bit. That is 2, 3, 4, or 5 by virtue of other digits that it can see. These two digits can't be there, and they're not in yellow, so they're in those cells. Is it worth some colouring? Oh, no. It's worth saying that 1 is one of those digits, so it sees that cell. That's a 2. That's a 1. So there's no 2 there. That's now a 1-3 pair, and that must be a 3 because those digits go there. Excellent. That's unwound 3s and 2s a bit. I don't need that corner mark anymore. This is a 2-4-5 triple. Ah, and 2 can't be in red. Look, that's a 4-5 pair. Okay, that's interesting. So none of the other red cells can contain 4 or 5 because they're all different cage totals, remember. So this one is now 2 or 3. This is not 2 or 3. It's not 1, 2, 3, 6 or 7. It's not allowed to be 4 or 5. So that is now 8 or 9. This top row, I was going to finish this one off and I forgot. That is a 6. Doesn't do anything. These 2 digits are going to go here and here. Now that is cool. This one doesn't go in the red cell because we've done 4 and 5 in the red cells, although we haven't identified which is which. They're finished. So that digit is going to go here in this row. This digit is in the red cell, 1 or 3. Oh, look at this one as well. Can't be 1, 6, 7, 9 or 8 from the box, and it's not allowed to be 4 or 5. So it's 2 or 3, and that gives us a 2-3 pair, and therefore they, in a way, both see this red cell, and that's a 1. And now we've got 1 done in red, a 2-3 pair, a 4-5 pair. Everything else is 6, 7, 8 or 9. This is not 8 because of the X-wing. The 2 8s for columns 8 and 9 have been used up. It's not 9. So that is 6 or 7. That is 8 or 9. This is not 6 or 7 because of those. So we've got an 8-9 pair and a 6-7 pair. And the reds have formed up into pairs. That's so weird. Right, now we must be able to do a bit more Sudoku. So there's no 8. In fact, we needed 8 in this column because of the X-wing. Oh, because of the X-wing, that can't be 8. That's 9. That's 8. The 9 is looking up there, makes that 7. That looks back at the red box, 6. That looks at the next red box, 7. So 8s have got unwound over that side. I still don't know how to do these. But this bottom row, that's not a 9. Ooh, we need a 7 in one of those cells. No, the bottom rows, I've got 2, 3, 4, 5 only to place in the bottom row. This cell sees both of the red 2 3s, so it can't be either of those digits. So that is 4 or 5 as well. I have a feeling we will be doing a bit of colouring in a moment, but maybe it won't be necessary. 7 there. Just a hidden single. These are from 4, 5, 6, and I think what that's telling me is that 9 is there, which I should have just noticed by better Sudoku. These are from 1, 4, 5. 3 is in one of those 2 digits. Now is that? No, that's not subject to the 2, 3 pair. 2 is definitely in one of those. Oh, 8 sees that cell. That's very clear. 6, 7, 8, 1. See this one, that also sees both of the 2, 3 candidates. So it's not 2, is it? And there we go. That's how we resolve it. That's beautiful. This can't be a 2 because it sees both of the 2, 3 cells. So the only place for 2 in row 4 is now in the red box. So that's the 2 in the red. That's the 3. That gives us a 3 here. And that fixes these 2 boxes. This is now a 2. And these 2 cages, one of them added up to 10 and one to 12. So we can fill those in. 9 goes there now. That's lovely. I love the flow of this. It's so elegantly brilliant throughout. I mean, it just is. Sorry, that's me literally running out of superlatives. These are 3, 4, 5 in some order. The top one can't be a 3. The only place for 3 in this row is now there. That can't be a 1. That's a 4-5 pair that suddenly popped up out of nowhere. That has to be a naked 2 if that's right. 4, 5, 8, 9, 3 in the column, 1, 7, 6 in the box. That's a 2. That gives us our grey cell, which is going to get a lot of stuff unwound, I think. Well, some of the 5s and 4s that I still had to go anyway. That's now a 3. That places, well, it gives us 5 and 3 there. This is just flowing now, maybe to a finish. 2, 5 pair at the bottom of column 3 makes the corner 4. We're not going to get 3 in a corner today. You're spared my feeble singing. 8 there. That is 6 or 7. That's 1 or 6, and 1, 6 or 7 there. That can't be 4. These have a 6. Not interesting. These are for, I might as well pencil mark everything now. Oh, and I'm not finished. I've still got this, look at that, it's 4, 5. They're the last pair to resolve in the reds, even though they're the first pair we found in the reds. But look, they're both looking at that cell, and that therefore can't be 4 or 5. This is gorgeous. How much of this is luck and how much is baked in, Samu? That is fantastic. Oh, just epic. So clever. That can't be 1. We can place the 1 in this box. That can't be 1. We can place the 1 in this box. Now it's just going to be 2s, 4s, and 5s. I have a feeling they're all done somehow. I can't see. Yes, these rows. They are 4, 5, 4, 2 in the corner, 5, 4 in the red. Remember, the reds always have an effect on the other reds. Oh, what a puzzle. I love that. That is so good. And it is nothing like, well, I suppose it's a little bit like the other puzzle that we did before, which used, and we may have done 2, which used all, actually I think we did one on the channel, and I think there was one in the 7 Wonders of the World Sudoku Hunt. That's what I think. Where all the cage totals had to be used. Simon did one where they were all in a chain going round the grid. It's weird what your brain remembers. These 2 cages, that's the 20, that's the 19. I never bothered to identify that during the solve, but the 5 and 4 eventually fell out. It's brilliant. I mean, I love it. That is such a good puzzle. Thank you to Samu and the recommender. Great stuff. We'll be back with more stuff tomorrow. Thank you for watching on the channel. And bye for now.